3 months after our interview with Dick Fleming in that hotel service hallway, we learned that the RCGA's president and CEO refused to support a proposal by a different nonprofit group that appeared to be good for the region. The leading politicians and business leaders supported it, but not Fleming. Our investigation found that it appears one of the reasons he was against it is that he wasn't involved in it.
I've supported Dick, but unfortunately, Dick has disappointed me on this issue.
Ed Hillhouse is the executive director of the East-West Gateway Council of Governments, the metro agency responsible for distributing federal transportation funds to the region. Gateway also conducts research. Fleming refused to support Gateway's proposal for a comprehensive regional business plan created by the prestigious Brookings Institution.
I have been baffled. I really have. I've questioned why.
Brookings had already created plans for Seattle, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Northeast Ohio. All 24 public officials on the East-West Board of Directors, including St. Louis Mayor Slay and St. Louis County Executive Dooley, supported it. The leading pro-business groups also endorsed it, but not the RCGA. What possible reason would he have to not support this?
One of the reasons that he gave me was that we already have studies going on. We're already doing it. We're already doing things that will work, and that
RCGA has things that will work.
Yes.
Hillhouse said that it appeared Fleming wanted RCGA to be in charge of the project, not East-West Gateway. Hillhouse told me that Fleming attended a Brookings conference in Washington, D.C., and allegedly told Hillhouse that he had approached Brookings with his concerns about East-West proposal for St. Louis.
What he did say was that he had talked with them. He wanted me to know that he knew all of them personally, and that he served on the advisory board, and that he had talked with them about his concerns, and he said, and he told me, he says, and they have concerns also.
Fleming agreed to talk with us after we told the RCGA about our interview with Ed Hillhouse. Why aren't you supporting East-West Gateway's proposal to bring the Brookings Institution in here for a study?
Well, it's not a question of whether we are or are not supporting it. My question was, Mr. Fleming, you're not answering the questions, Mr. Fleming. Can I finish an answer to your... You didn't answer the question. Why aren't you supporting the plan? Will you allow me to respond? Please. Good. When we first became aware of the Brookings proposal, sometime in March, our question was, how does what is being proposed by East-West Gateway relate to the work that the community and the RCGA had just finished spending 18 months on in a regional economic development plan? Very legitimate question, very reasonable question, I believe. That question was never responded to by East-West Gateway. Our investigation found that at the time when Gateway was getting letters of support for its proposal, Fleming was privately raising doubts about it, partly because it didn't include him, even though he tried hard to convince us that he never did that. This is what he told me on July 5th. It's hard for me to share a concern about a proposal that I didn't even know had been submitted and had never seen. So it was very difficult to critique something that until Friday I didn't see. But 3 months before he told us that, Fleming tried to convince Henry Weber, the executive vice chancellor for administration at Washington University, that the RCGA should be involved in the Gateway proposal to Brookings. According to an email sent by Weber, Fleming presented a strong argument. Not long after Weber's meeting with Fleming, sources say Washington University became much less interested in playing a key role, though the university denies that. How can I discuss a proposal that we don't even know exists, that we didn't even see until Friday? Fleming repeatedly insisted his organization wasn't kept in the loop, but it was. Gateway revealed its interest in the Brookings plan in 3 meetings that were held from mid-March to early April. An RCGA employee was at each meeting. It sounds like before the proposal was actually filed on May the 2nd,
that RCGA was in the loop.
No.
You don't feel like RCGA was in the loop despite those briefings on the plan?
No.
For 9 minutes in our interview, Fleming strongly implied that he had never talked with Brookings about the Gateway proposal. Finally, he admitted that he had.
The fact that there was no proposal made that a moot question. I just told you that 2 weeks ago.
But it doesn't matter if you had not seen the proposal, if you had concerns.
Nor know that there was one.
Sir, my question was, did you ever talk to the folks at Brookings about anything relating to what you knew as an East-West Gateway interest in this Metro business plan?
I had one call after the April meeting, which a Brookings staffer was concerned about a statement that had taken place in the meeting that I was not in attendance, talking about the political fragmentation of St. Louis.
A few days after we first reported on this story, Brookings rejected Gateway's proposal for that business plan. According to Gateway, Brookings said 2 of the reasons cited for turning it down was the lack of unanimous support from the business community and a lack of involvement from Washington University. What impression did that leave with you when you saw this fall apart?
Well, I will tell you that we certainly didn't put our best foot forward on a national level with a very prestigious organization.
St. Louis Mayor Francis Slay and many other public officials who wanted the Brookings business plan were embarrassed by the infighting and poor communication that doomed the effort.
I think it kind of put a black mark or a black eye on the city in terms of how we approach these things.
The Brookings Institution insists the RCGA's lack of support did not kill the East-West Gateway proposal. Brookings has encouraged St. Louis to apply again for a regional business plan. This time, the RCGA will be involved. When we come back, how transparent is the organization selling us to the world, especially when it spends public money?